Hi everyone, my name is Bav and I'm the training specialist here at PixelPoint. Today we will be going over policies. Because PixelPoint is so customizable and has the ability to be configured in so many ways, there are hundreds of policies that have been set up for users. Let's start by opening Back Office and taking a look at how we can access policies. Click on Point of Sale. From there, open System Setup Options. The last tab we see here is called Policies. This is where we see all of the policies on a global level, which means when policies are set up from the System Setup Options, the changes made to policies here will be applied to all terminals within your establishment. Here is a short list of key policies. To look for a policy, there's a Find button on the bottom of our list of policies. And with this, you will be able to search for any policy using a keyword. For example, if you need to find a policy regarding tips, you simply type tip into the search bar and all policies related to tips will appear. It is important to note that all policies by default are set to Use Default, which in most cases, the policy is turned off and you must go into Back Office to turn on a specific policy depending on the needs of your establishment. To edit this, you can click on the checkbox beside the Use Default and you will be prompted to change the settings of this policy. Every policy comes with a detailed description of what it does. For example, a policy we have in our list of key policies is Lock down items after print. This policy determines what happens after a receipt has already been printed for a table. We have three options here. By default, it is set to 0. Don't lock down the transaction, but if you want to change it to 1, lock down, don't allow ordering or moving items, we can make that change in the drop-down to 1. And now the table would not be able to make any orders. Or we can change it to 2, lock down but ask for security override to allow ordering and moving items where the table can order, but there will be a level of security to determine that the order can be taken or not. As mentioned earlier, there are hundreds of policies. Some other important ones to note, especially since we're moving towards delivery and takeout, we can have policies related to drivers. For example, who can driver in and who can driver out. And the possible values are the same for both 0, allow driver only, 1, only dispatcher, or 2, both 1 and 2. So this policy, for example, determines who can let the system know that a driver is currently out with an order. In most cases, a driver is only responsible for picking up the order and the dispatcher will let the system know that the driver is out or in. But an establishment might set this policy to 2 just to avoid any delays in case a dispatcher is not available and only the driver can update the system. Another group of policies is related to members. Because you can set up members in PixelPoint, you can also set up policies in relation to those members. An important one to note is Prompt Members for Allergens, which is to prompt users to select members' allergens whenever a new member is added. This can be vital information when creating a new member, so it could be a good idea to set this policy to yes. In the Policies tab, there's a button called Export to File, which will export all policies into an XML file. Let's click on Export to File, and we'll call it Policies. Now let's open this file. Click on Plugins, and then click on Pretty Print, XML only with line breaks. Here we'll see all of our policies and the status of those policies that we have set. The reason why this is so helpful is because let's say you've worked through all of the policies and set them up and want to use the same policies at another store. You can easily import these policies into your new store by clicking on Import from File. So now this store will have all the same policies as the other store. If you have a head office, this will not apply because the policies you set at the head office level would affect all of your stores. So what we've been looking at so far have been global policies at the store level. All the changes made to the policies have affected all terminals at that store. Now let's look at policies at a station level. Click on Point of Sales then Stations, and click on the Policies tab. Here you can override certain policies for that station. For example, I can have a policy set up globally, but I do not want that policy to affect a certain station. I will use Station 3 as my station for this example and say that Station 3 is used for the bar only. Click on Custom, and the same way we find policies on the global level, we click on Find here to search for the policies. For my bar, I would like to allow customers to open a tab, so I search for Bar tab, and we can see the policy called Allow Deposits, which will allow pre-authorized bar tabs. I'll change this to Yes, and now Station 3 can allow tabs to be opened by customers, but no other station has the ability to do this. So because Station 3 is a bar station, there may be other policies that are different within this station, and I would like to have another station that operates the same way as the bar. I can copy the changes I've made to Station 3 and override the policies on another station. That concludes the video on policies. I hope this video was helpful. Please subscribe to our channel for future videos.